Hi there folks, welcome to RRTV. We're coming live to you tonight from Mount Panorama in Bathurst, New South Wales, Australia, and it's going to be one interesting race, that is for sure. We've got a total of 7 minutes and 20 seconds of qualifying to go, and before we get into the point score, I'd like to introduce my co-hosts, Richard Craig and Kevin Henderson. How you going, guys?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Bernie. Good evening to you. Good evening, Kevin. Good evening, viewers. And we're in for a bumper race tonight. We've got a really strong field here for Mount Panorama. This race should be an absolute treat. There's about 10 guys who have all got serious pace who could pose a threat and are worthy of a podium position. So, Kevin, how are you doing tonight, mate?
Yeah, good evening, Bernie. Good evening, Richard. Yeah, mate, I'm really looking forward to this tonight. There's some gun drivers who know this track like the back of their hand. It's going to be blistering pace.
Yeah, and just some of the names we have out there at the moment. We've got Arjen de Vries in provisional pole, Josh Anderson, Ewan Noralampi, Enzo Cantor's joined us tonight, Troy Burgess, just to name a few. So we've got, and Angelo Solura there, Richard.
Yes, it's a pretty classy field actually. I'll just run through the top guys. We've got Arjen de Vries is back, Josh Anderson, who's in contention for the championship, currently in second, I believe, or third. Ewan Noralampi, championship winner last time. Enzo Cantor, we've got Bart Hoogmuud out of Netherlands. He hasn't raced a lot with us, but very quick driver, Bart. Troy Burgess, Angelo Solura, Scott Fountain, races out of New Zealand, a real driver. Grant Ashby, Anthony Lucas. We've got Simon Schultz, Luke Page, who's our current championship leader. Matthew Trotman, Mick Gray, Lance Perkins, Darryl Ridley, Luke Whitten, Alex McKellar, and Oscar Capel rounding out the field. And the guys are, most of them just coming up round now, completing their first lap. They'll get 3 laps of quality in. Currently in our standings, strong showing from Arjen de Vries, 231.026, and Josh Anderson breathing right down his tailpipe with a 231.038.
Yes, it's definitely looking close out there, and I tell you what folks, if you caught last week's race, the point score has been shaken up. Let's have a look at it. And at the moment, Luke Page is leading the way on 178 points, followed by Josh Anderson on 167 points. Ewan Noralampi, he didn't score any points last round, and he's sitting 1 point down in third on 166 points. And then we have Alex McKellar on 155 points. Rounding out our top 5 is Callum Dwyer on 140. So Kevin, it's looking interesting. What's the chances of Luke being able to hold on to this lead?
I think we've lost Kevin momentarily, Bernie. Look, I don't think...
Very fast drivers out there.
Sorry, we just lost you then, Kevin. You cut in. My vibe is that Luke's not going to be able to make a top 5, but he should be good for a top 12. Drive safely and consistently, but time will tell.
Yeah, well, he's sitting down there in 12th position at the moment. Josh Anderson in second for qualifying, and Ewan Noralampi. But as we saw last week between Arjen de Vries and Ewan Noralampi, they actually came together, if I'm not mistaken there.
Yes, yeah. They did, Bernie. Yeah, I agree with you, Richard. If Luke can keep it tidy, he should run in the top 12. But then, being Bathurst, anything can happen.
Well, that's it. And one of the characteristics of this track, particularly with this car, is the draft. And qualifying position is great, but you can qualify first and be in third by the time you get up the top of Mountain Straight, don't you, Kev?
Yeah, you're not wrong at all, Richard. That run up to turn 2 can be quite a handful.
And another guy we've got out there at the moment, sitting in 13th, right behind Luke Page, is Alex McCullough. So Alex will be looking for a better race than he had, I think, 2 rounds ago, where he was involved in a turn 2 incident out at Alton Park, if my mind's serving me right there.
Yeah, he was involved in the beginnings of what turned out to be an epically big crash affecting nearly half the field. So the guys are on their 3rd lap at the moment. Yuha momentarily had got in front of Arian, but the tables have turned. So we've got Arian on the top with a 230.6, Yuha on a 230.8, Josh on a 230.8, and Anthony Lucas on a 230.8. And given that there's, if you play it right, more than half a second draft on both straights, none of these guys are in a comfortable position.
Yeah, so I can tell you Richard Bart's not going to improve. He just stuck it into the fence coming over the mountain there.
No, that's unfortunate. So what's he got now? He's in fifth with a 231.0. So yeah, he may drop down. There's a few fast guys still to post laps there.
Yeah, Yuha's just coming through the chase now. It'll be interesting to see what he comes up with.
Yeah, so with 1 minute 17 to go, this will probably be his last chance here as he comes through the final corner, sitting in 2nd at the moment. Can he better it? And he does with a 2:35.63, so it's now going to be up to Arjen de Vries as he comes through the final corner here. Can he get that pole position back? And the answer is yes, with a 2:32.32.
Well, and we've got Josh just coming down to Murray's for the final time. Oh, and Josh splits them with a 2:30.3, taking 2nd place.
They're blistering times, aren't they, Richard?
Yeah, these are pretty sharp times. They definitely are, Kevin. It's actually pretty warm. They've got 74 degrees of ambient temperature and 101 degrees Fahrenheit track, which translates as 38 degrees Celsius track temperature. That's pretty hot. 15 mile an hour northwesterly. What's that in kilometres? 15, about 22, 23 kilometres, something like that.
Yeah, 23 kilometres an hour is the wind speed at the moment. 38 degrees Celsius is the track temp.
Yeah, Enzo's a little bit off the pace here. He's a full 2nd behind Josh there.
Okay, so I'll take everybody through the grid while they're gridding up here, and then we'll get into calling this race. So at the moment, Arjen de Vries takes pole position with a 2:30.232, followed by Josh Anderson in 2nd. He split Ewan Lampe at the last couple of seconds there for 3rd. Lucas is in 4th. 5th is Bart Hogmode Mead. 6th, Grand Ashby. Schultz in 7th. Cantor out of 8th. Burgess 9th. Gray will start out of 10th. 11th is Fountain. 12th, Salura. Luke Page 13th. Perkins 14th. And 15th is Witten. McCullough out of 16th. Capel out of 17th. Then followed by Trotman and Darryl Ridley down there in 19th position.
And Darryl hasn't posted a time, so I didn't see what happened to him. He's obviously had a bad run. And we've got green light, and they're away as Arian moves across to take the racing line for turn 1. They all go line astern. Good to see.
It's looking good. All the field looks like they got through turn 1. Held corner for the first time cleanly. But we've got Arjen de Vries leading Josh Anderson, though. He's getting that draft and he's starting to make a move already.
Yep, Josh is going for the run on the inside of turn 2. Oh, he's got him easily.
Yeah, I'd say Arian's lifted there for him to fit in so closely. So we'll just have to keep an eye on these guys for the first lap. I don't think that there'll be too much Bargy in the first lap. I would think that they want to see if they can form a breakaway group, but we'll just have to see.
Yeah, well, as we know with the European drivers, as the laps wind down, the tempo normally increases here, but it'll be interesting with Josh out front here if he can somehow try to control that pace.
And everyone looks like they've come across the top of the mountain cleanly as the front runners head down into line.
So at the moment, looking at our top five, we've got Josh Anderson in the lead, Arjun de Vries second, Ewan Noralampi in third position, fourth is Anthony Lucas, and Bart Hogmead sits in fifth position.
Yeah, and Arian and Josh have opened up a little bit of a gap here on Yuha. I know Yuha takes the first couple of laps a bit easy, waits for a car to come to him, but he won't want to be dropping back too far and let these guys go. And they're planning on working together.
Yeah, and Arjun now takes a lead through that slipstream. I thought they're going to go too wide into Caltech's chase, but Josh just tucks in behind him. And no doubt they don't want to do anything crazy, as it looks like Bart Hogmead has gone off at the chase, but he's rejoined. But that's going to cost him a few positions.
Yeah, and something happened with Anthony Lucas then as well. Maybe Bart got a bit of a nudge. I saw him run wide coming out of the Caltech chase. Anthony got right out of it, and now, of course, these front guys have run away.
Yeah, Richard, acts like Alex has had a bit of trouble through the chase too. He's dropped to the back of the field.
That's no good at all, and the bad luck seems to be continuing there for Alex at the moment. Let's hope he can try to get a few of those positions back.
And just in behind Bart, coming up into Griffins, we've got Scott Fountain and Troy Burgess having a little look at each other. But this second battle pack is pretty tight, I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah, Richard, they're certainly mixing it up coming over the mountain this time round.
Yeah, they are. So we've got our front three have got away. Yuha's closing that gap down a little bit back to Arian and Josh. And then they must be 3 seconds or more back to Anthony, who just brushes the wall as he comes across down into the park and over the skyline, hits it again. You can't do too much of that, can you, Kevin? The car's very fragile.
No, you're not wrong. There's someone else that just brushed the wall there too, coming through the dipper.
Well, I think that was Anthony again. I think he's done it 3 times. As Bart gets all out of shape, Anthony gets crossed up. He's just held it, running back wide. Hopefully he can get his car in first. He's gone backwards. There's more grease. There's more grease. Oh, that's not good. Either Troy or was it Scott Fountain? I'm not sure. Has gone over.
Yeah, and Anthony's into the wall. It was interesting. We were riding with Anthony as we came down the mountain there, and although he wasn't hitting the wall, it sounded like he was having a bit of a net code issue, but that car is absolutely trash. So no doubt, fast repair. Well, it looks like he's out of the car, so I think that's the end for Anthony.
Yeah, Bart's had another off too. He got cleaned up coming into the chase.
Yeah, I think Bart clipped Anthony. I don't think he could avoid him, so he might have picked up a bit of front wheel damage or something like that.
So we're just going to jump back here and just have a look at get another view of what happened to Bart Hogmead here. So he's coming down Caltech's chase with a bent front wing, and he's pulled over just to let the guys through. We'll just follow him. I think he's got steering damage, by the way. And he's actually come together with, I think that might have been Anthony Lucas there at the Caltech's chase.
I don't think it was Anthony because they left him behind at Forest Elbow with his car in a mess. But look, in the second group now, we've got Angela Silura, Scott Fountain, Troy Burgess, and Mick Gray, and these guys look like they mean business. This is going to be all on with the second battle pack.
Yeah, I think Mick's just going to sit there and pick up the pieces the way things are going. He's making up spots one after another without having to do a thing.
Yeah, Mick's pretty good at that, and he's had a bit of a torrid time of it, but he has scored points in the last few rounds. So I think that definitely would be the answer, not get mixed up in the middle of these guys. And you can ease off quite a lot in the draft, especially down Conrod Straight. You can just coast it, drive easy, and stay in touch. It's really quite nice in the box seat.
Yeah, I think Troy belted the wall again through there.
Yeah, their cars are all looking a bit worse to wear. You've got bent wings and scrapes. Of course, it's, hitting the curbs hard doesn't help with these cars. But neither does just clipping a bit of the inside of the wall.
And Scott's making a move here on Troy. He's going to get it done, I think. Oh, Troy fights back brilliantly with a move up the inside, and side by side they go through the. Oh, it's all gone. Oh, how they held that, I don't know.
And Angelo inherits it. And who's that with the bent wing? That's Troy with the bent wing, car 6.
Yeah, I think they're. Sorry, Bernie, go.
Sorry, I was just going to say, and Scott Fountain doesn't have any wing left at all now, so he's going to be struggling to keep Mick Gray behind him here.
And Troy's sideways out of hell.
Yeah, Scott and Troy banged wheels together. Maybe Troy's car's a little bit out of shape.
Yeah, I think there must have been a bit of netcode in that. Richard, how they didn't spear off the track is beyond me.
Again, Troy puts it up the inside, or that Scott's put it up the inside at Griffin's. These guys mean business, and of course this is just going to let Angelo get away. Not really in Troy's game plan, I don't think. As Troy brushes the wall again, coming up through the cutting.
Yeah, Angelo's got a good break on them now. I think he'll be able to pull away here.
Meanwhile, up the front, folks, we've got Arjun de Vries under a lot of pressure here from Josh Anderson in second. Ewan Norrelampy, well, he's just sitting back there in third, and no doubt he'll be a bit more cautious after last week's race.
Yeah, Yuha's in a really nice position here. He can work the car easy. The guys are lapping pretty quickly. Yuha's last lap was a 2:30.1. I'll just check out the other guys. Yeah, Josh is in a 2:30.2, so they're on it for sure. As Josh makes a move down into Caltech's chase, takes the draft. Yuha lost a little bit of touch there, that lap, coming down the straight then.
A bit of bad news. It appears that we've lost Luke.
Yeah, see, he's just reconnected, so he's obviously had network issues. The Yuha ranges right up on the back of Ariane into Murray's across the start-finish line, and there's not much in it between these three guys now. A notorious hell corner for the run-up mountain straight. Go ahead, Benny.
I was going to say the gap these three have pulled out on Angelo Silura is over 8 seconds at the moment, so just goes to show how hard these three are pushing.
Yeah, of course, that second group have been balked twice now, and you just lose time hand over fist when that happens. and they all would have had their run compromised onto onto Conrod when Anthony's there at Forest Elbow. So there'd be a second, if not 2 seconds, in that alone.
Yeah, and Troy's lost it badly going into turn 2 there again. I think he's going to fall off the back here. Angelo hasn't got away as well as I thought he would, but I think Troy might be having a few issues trying to point that thing in a straight line.
Yeah, I think the issue Troy has at the moment is he doesn't have much of a car under him anymore with the front and rear wing damaged. Did you see, Kevin, did he actually hit the wall there at Griffin's Bend?
No, but he had to get right out of the gas, which has dropped him off the back of the pack, so he's going to lose the draft now. He could even fall into the hands of Luke here.
Yeah, so that's going to free up Angelo and Scott momentarily from Mick Gray, but no doubt Mick's got the best car out of the 4 of these guys, so he'll catch them up again pretty quickly.
You're not wrong, Bernie. And once these two start fighting, knowing with Angelo and Scott, they'll be going out hammer and tongs, so anything could happen from here.
And again down Conrod Straight, Josh Anderson, Arjun de Vries, side by side as they come into Caltex Bend for the 4th time, and it looks like Josh has taken the lead again, and no doubt Arjun will pass him going back up Mountain Straight.
Meanwhile, Scott's having another look at Angelo here, and Mick's closing right up on the pair of them.
Yeah, and I don't think Angelo has much of a car under him either as he slides through Caltex Chase, absolutely wringing the neck of that car to try to keep it in front of Scott Fountain and Mick Gray here.
Yeah, I must say Scott and Angelo look like teammates with those dings in the side panel.
So as we go up Mountain Straight for the next time, we have Arjun de Vries again on the inside of Josh Anderson as they're coming up here to Griffin's Bend, and it looks like Josh is going to have to drop back in, and I tell you what, Uenora Lampe closed right up there on Josh as well.
Yeah, he sure did, and he's got to run up the inside of Josh here up to the cutting. In fact, does he want to make it 2? I think he thought about it.
Yeah, well, in 2 corners, Josh Anderson now finds himself going from 1st back to 3rd, and I guess that's the nature of this this control type racing and the Skip Barbers around here.
Oh yeah, and with the draft as well, you know, it's very easy, and you know, you once you get off the line with these kinds of guys, you lose time. So if us doesn't stick, you're a sitting duck for the guy behind you, and I think that's what's happened there. I think Josh has probably just eased off to allow Arian the clean pass, and that's just given Juha the run, and he's managed to keep it buttoned on. But Arian's very quick down the hill here. He just opens up a gap a little bit, gets on the power nice and early out of Forest Elbow. Just a little bit better than the other 2 guys are doing it at the moment.
Meanwhile, Troy has stuck in the fence over Skyline. I think that's his night done.
So you can see now Josh Anderson on the outside coming into Caltex Chase. Is you going to let him through? Well, to answer that, I don't think Ewer had much of a choice but to let him through, otherwise they were going to connect, and it was quite interesting there, Richard, as we were riding down with Josh. He was actually lifting through Caltex Chase there just to tuck in behind Arjen.
Yeah, it can be a bit of a game of chess down on Conrod Straight, I've got to say. It's a little tricky. You pick up a lot of additional speed. Oh, Arjen gets it right out on the grass. This is going to affect his run. But is Josh going to do anything about it? I wonder if he's even lifted there. He's having a look out of the slipstream. He doesn't have a lot of road to play with. I think he's definitely got the run. Juha's ranging up, so Arjen's lost a little bit of speed here. Interesting to see the different lines there. Yuha managed to keep it very tight out of Griffin's.
I was just about to say the same thing, Richard. It seems to be he's a bit quicker through there. He's closed up right on the back of Arjun here.
Yeah, and what this constant battling's doing, Richard, is it's not allowing Arjen to turn up the tempo like he normally does if he's in the front. And this is keeping these two guys well and truly in this fight as Ewan Lampy just slides it through the top of the mountain there.
Oh, and Josh brushes the wall as he goes over the top of Skyline. His wing's looking a bit second-hand too, isn't it? His front wing.
Yeah, so how much would that be noticeable, Kevin, having a bent front wing on one of these cars going around Mount Panorama?
Boney, it can knock 2 or 3 tenths off a lap. The back wing's the one that really causes the trouble here. Meanwhile, Mick's looking all over the back of Scott coming down Conrad. I think he's going to have a crack at him. Yeah, no, it does slow you down a bit. But when you get the back wind damage here, it's what really slows you down. You just can't get the car to turn in the fast corners, which you really need to be able to do here. And
Mick pulled a great move there and managed to block Scott in behind Angelo. So Mick has pulled out of the draft and taken both of these guys.
It remains to be seen if he can run away now that he's in front. And he'll be looking in his mirror as these boys are charging hard.
Yeah, and neither of them take any prisoners, as Grant Ashby's called it a night. I think we've missed a bit of hoo-ha up on top of the mountain. I saw, I think maybe when Troy put the wall up there and when it put him out, Enzo has obviously had a problem with it. So maybe that's a replay we'll go back and have a look at a bit later on, Bernie. As the guys cross the line now, and starting lap 8 of a 10-lap race. So they'll be thinking now about how they're going to play this towards the end, won't they, Kev? Because you really need to think carefully whether you want to be leading one of these groups.
Yeah, and as you say that, UR's just come up the inside of Josh into turn 2 and got the pair of them. Oh, I nearly touched wheels there. Josh isn't giving up, well, he has to now, though.
A small error from Yuha there, heading up into the cutting. Probably unsettled Josh a bit behind, and Yuha clipped the wall on the way out. He's got mirrors full of an orange car at the moment.
Yeah, one's full of orange car, the other one's full of a pink and blue one. This will be a great run down Conrad this time. Now it's time to get the chessboard out, put the thinking cap on, see what we come up with. Oh, Yuha's gone.
Loses it. Coming through the dipper, Yuha's got the back out, lost it. His car is munted, front end gone, rear wing gone.
I still reckon he'll get third. I don't think they'll catch him from here. Meanwhile, on to Josh and Arjun.
So we're just having a look at this replay. He got loose there through the dipper and it's throwing him into the wall. The front nose is off, and let's hope his steering's not bent so he can try to hang on to that third position.
Well, he's driving a windsock, so I wouldn't mind betting that Mick and co would be able to get on the tail. They've got 2 laps to do it. What's their gap? About 5 seconds?
Yeah, 5.2 seconds, and it's closing fast with Mick Gray pulling in 1/10 of a second as we speak. But yeah, Arjen's steering is tracking okay, but he's got absolutely no front wing on that car.
Yeah, so it's going to come down to Arjen and Josh for the win, if they make it. There's been plenty of action so far. 2 laps to go. They've just started lap 9, and there's nothing in it with these 2 guys. And let's just check back. So there's a fair old distance back from Yuha to Mick. But Yuha did a 240, mind you. year he lost time, so let's just check Juha's lap time this time around. It'll give us an indication of whether he's catchable or not.
And Angelo's just got past Mick again into turn 2. Mick's fighting back, but I don't know, they're catching him pretty quick.
Yeah, that gap's coming down very quickly as Ewer's also bent his rear wing there as he reversed it back, so don't know what you'd call that car. It's almost like a go-kart.
It's slow kart at the moment, Ben.
Yeah.
It's the air conditioning mod.
Yeah, so that gap in half a lap is down to 4.2 seconds. 2 laps to go. As we see there, Angelo nearly putting it into the wall there, but he manages to hang on to it.
Oh, he's all out of shape and lost his rhythm. That is a vicious curve, that one up on the top as you head towards Skyline. If you don't hit it really straight, it can cause major grief, and it's not uncommon to see people just snap left into the wall. They did pretty well to hold on to it. Often the cars bottom out there as well, which doesn't help, of course, at all.
You're not wrong, Richard. You got to have that steering wheel dead straight if you're going to hit that curb. Otherwise, it's good night, Irene. And mix away again.
And also, Josh Anderson has the lead now, coming up to get the last lap board here. Out of these two guys, where would you prefer to be going back up the mountain? Do you want to be in second or first position here?
Angelo's not very happy with Scott. He's just dropped a place coming through Caltech's chase. Scott making the most of Mick's little move. Sorry, Bernie, look, I would rather be in second. If you can follow the guy closely down the hill and quite comfortable doing that, I think second is the box seat.
Yeah, you're right there, Richard. But, when you're in the race, it's first place, you tend to just jump for it. And we'll see how it turns out.
I'll tell you what, guys, Arjen agrees with you. He was lifting there, and he's just sitting in behind Josh Anderson as they come up the mountain for the last time. And no doubt he's going to be trying to make that move coming into Caltech's chase, as you just said.
Yeah, Nayan's done a lot of laps here. Had a few races, then a league race this morning as well, which he didn't have that great a result, so he'll be looking to do well. And he's very comfortable being close to the back of Josh across the top of the mountain here. Down the hill is where it gets a little bit trickier. There's often a bit of an illusion as you approach the dipper that the car in front's going to cream it into the wall, which can cause you to lift off and you lose a couple of tenths. But if he's within 5 tenths coming out of Forest Elbow, then the car in front's a sitting duck into the Caltech chase.
Yeah, well, Josh better start quacking because Arjen's closing up on him, and we'll see what they've got now. Last time down Conrod Straight here as we ride with Arjen de Vries in second.
Oh, there's been a big... You was lost it. Sent Mick into the wall. Clean Mick up and sent him into the wall. Oh, it's terrible for Mick.
You can see there Arjen de Vries now just takes over, gets the slipstream, comes into Caltech's chase first time, but Josh is closing back in on him again.
Mick must be gutted after that.
Oh, Josh wants this. It's going to come down to Murray's. Can they pull up the braking tool? Josh has got the inside line.
Yeah, I think Josh will get him here if he can hold this line. If he can hold it. He runs him a bit wide. Yeah, Josh is there.
Oh, might want to go back. Slammer for Harriet as he gets onto the grass. Brilliant finish from those two guys.
You might want to jump in for a replay of what happened to Mick there. He's looking good for third place, so we're catching UR, but UR's just lost it through the dipper and sent Mick into the wall.
And
Scott's just taken out Angelo at Murray's on the final corner.
Yeah, and Angelo's steering's all bent out of shape there. No doubt he's not going to be very happy with that move, as we caught that on camera. But let's go back and have a look at this replay. So What was that contact you were calling earlier, Kevin?
Yeah, you are going to the dipper. He's lost it again and bounced off the wall and just cleaned Mick up. Just sent Mick into the fence.
Okay, we're just trying to track back to that incident, folks. Unfortunately, with Mount Panorama, we don't get a lot of off-tracks. So we're joining the replay here as Ewan-Orlampi comes down across the skyline and into the dipper. Can just see him coming into the dipper now. We'll change camera angles so we can actually see how this unfolded. So through the dipper again, Ewan's going to have nightmares about this part of the track, and again he loses the back end. And as Kevin said, we should see Mick Gray appearing at any moment. Yeah, and Ewan's rolling across the track right into the path of Mick Gray. Left him nowhere to go there. Angelo Salura also hit Ewan, and Scott Fountain, well, he got through without contact. So, yeah, that was very unlucky there for Mick Gray, guys.
Yeah, look, the other one we're going to have to look at is Scott Fountain's move at Murray's, coming around on Angelo for the very last time. Bit of entertaining. Scott definitely did the dive bomb from hill there. I don't quite know what happened, whether he missed his break point or whether he was making a point, but that was a bit rugged.
Yeah, well, if we looked further back there, Angelo actually ran Scott wide coming out of Caltech's chase there, so maybe that was a bit of hey, excuse me fella, I'm coming through.
Yeah, I think so. He's just pointed his car at the apex and torpedoed the side of Angelo's car and put him out. Yeah, well.
Yeah, I think there could be a bit more to that, because just at the start of that replay, we might actually go back and see if we can see what happened coming into Caltech's chase, because I have a feeling Scott was run wide there. As we pick it up now, I'll tell you what, let's go back another 15 seconds. Those guys were all crossed up coming in through the chase there, side by side. So these two are absolutely racing for sheep stations here. As we can see them coming in now, Angelo Salura at that point has the lead, and Scott Fountain's coming on the inside there to make that move. But I tell you what, Angelo's coming deep under brakes, coming into Caltech's chase. And they're going side by side there, touching wheels, running Angelo off into the grass on the inside of Caltech's chase. They've hit. Scott Fountain's then been sent off into the kiddie litter. And as we saw, guys, Scott's come back for the ultimate payback, I think.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal, actually. Scott had a good run down the inside there for the left-hander. I don't know whether he ran Angelo off the road. Angelo certainly ended up with all four wheels. He wasn't going to back out of it, of course. So he's gone off onto the grass, and when he's come back on, he's thrown Scott off. There's a bit of push me, pull you there, wasn't there? But look, we've got Arian in the green room. Let's bring him up for a chat. Arian, good evening. Wow, that's all I've got to say, mate.
Yeah, it's apparently not my week. I haven't won one.
Yeah, look, that was a brutal race. You're going to be wanting to look at replays and streams, because there was actually Kevin picked it. He said, "I'm not racing tonight. This is going to be carnage," and there was carnage up and down the field. Good close racing, and no quarter given, and of course around here, giving no quarter at all creates grief, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's so tough, this track, and you saw you are spinning out in front of us when he overtook us. Yeah, it's so close, and with the draft, it's so hard to lose somebody. And yeah, Josh drove a great race, and he deserved the win. I would have liked to win it, but hey, good race anyway.
Well, yeah, it's good to hear you acknowledge that, because that staying in it like Josh did right at the very end, it's not easy to do, is it? You've got to stay in around the outside, and you don't have much room to play with on the inside line into Murray's, do you? So he did really well and still managed to give you a bit of racing room in the process. I was pretty impressed with that move, I've got to say.
Yeah, it was a little bit of chess in the end. On the first straight, I stayed behind him so he could lead going up the hill, and then yeah, I just overtook a bit too soon, and he could come back. So I had to play like a defensive move into the chase, I think it is, and yeah, he just because of that I compromised my exit and he could get it.
Well, I think that's going to go down as one of the more exciting races. I'll leave it to you to judge what happened for the third place getter. I think third place might be subject to a test. We'll have to see how that turns out. But yeah,
I read something about it. I haven't seen it yet, but yeah, Yua was, for my liking, he dive bombed a bit too much into the first corner when he overtook us. But yeah, I knew he had troubles in the downhill, because that's where every time we gained some speed on him or improved the gap a bit. And I guess with us behind, he just had to push too much and lost it there. I don't know what happened with Mick, but yeah, these kind of things happen.
Yeah, it sounds like you rolled back. I think we had a replay of that. But, you know, you can't come down that hill looking at your mirrors. That's what it's really all about. And I think that you guys had Yuha unsettled on the way down the hill, which was causing him, trying to get away. And you can't do that. You have to drive within yourself down there. But look, great driving. You managed to survive. That's got to be worth something. And second place, good strong finish, Ian.
Well, yeah, I'm not too happy with it. I needed points for Josh for the championship, but yeah, well, I haven't won one this week, so that's a bummer. I blew my engine yesterday in the 2K race. Yeah, apparently it's not my week this week.
Yeah, well, it hasn't been my week either, mate. So commiserations. I've been taken out of the lead times this week, and I haven't won one either, so there we go.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a good, fun track to do, and great racing always over here.
Yeah, good. Good to have you come and join us. So, look, we've got Yuha in the green. We might just bring Yuha up for a bit of a chat, and we've got Scott Fountain as well. Yuha, good evening. Wow, epic race, and you got into a bit of grief towards the end, huh?
Hi Richard, I hope you hear me now.
Yes, mate.
Yeah, okay. Well, it was interesting because Joshua was very quick all the week, and I just hadn't time and practice too much. It's almost yesterday and Saturday I just drove it, and I had difficulties for settling the downhill part very much with my brakes, but I think it was a great battle between Arjan and Joshua, and I was very pleased to see that Joshua has been improved very much again, and he's very talented and he can challenge anyone now.
Yeah, he certainly found a turn of speed, and when you watch the replay, the way he stayed in, catching the draft back again, going down Conrod into Caltech's chase, and then being able to stick with Arjan so that he had the inside line into Murray's. Just saying to Arjan, it's not easy to do, and he pulled it off to perfection, really, giving Arian racing room the whole time. So it was a very impressive piece of driving. The boy, as you say, has come a hell of a long way.
Yeah, well, I didn't see that end, obviously, because I was struggling there to get finished. But I just want to congratulate Joshua. He's a young guy, and he's a great future ahead of him. And of course, Arjan was a very good again. I just hoped that he would win and I could be third, but it wasn't possible because I just made a mistake because my car was broken when I overtook those guys. I don't, was it lap 8 or what, but I just hit the wall left right side, and when I got to downhill part, then when I start turning, it turned too much, and then I spun, and it was the same reason that I spun at the last lap, even though I have many damages as well in my car. But that's racing, and I'm not unhappy because I just wish that Joshua would be very good today.
Yeah, so that damage, we saw you hit the wall coming out of the cutting. Is that when you picked up the damage at the front end, is it?
Yeah, I don't know those names of those corners, I'm sorry, but when I had overtaken Joshua and Arjan, then it was that left turn when I just hit over the wall at the other side, and the right side just bumped from my car, and I just didn't know that time what was problem, or was it there anything, but when we go downhill, that very tricky serpent part, then I just noticed that this car isn't as it should be, and it just spun. It turned too much, and I couldn't do anything. So that's very bad, because I had a very good confidence today, because yesterday I for a long time I drove this 2K Cup, and I was 5th there, and just learning the track for this day's race, but I just no explains. That happens.
Well, commiserations, you had a pretty good run. The last couple of races haven't gone to plan, I know that, but I'm sure I've got Monza Junior and then Spa. You'll bounce back. There are still more points to be scored. So sad you didn't make the third place tonight. Wasn't your night? Still very entertaining as always, mate. Thanks very much.
Yeah, thanks. I hope viewers just liked it for someone. For something. Okay, bye.
We've got Scott here, I'll bring him up.
Yeah, his microphones are muted at the moment, so we'll see if he unmutes it when should we bring him up? And yeah, there we go. So I'll bring him into the green room now.
Hey Scott, wow, that was fun.
Oh yeah, but disappointed how that last corner ended up, mate. I've had a bolt wind out the back of my brake pedal. I could feel it coming loose throughout the end of the race, and I was not really too happy with that. So anyway.
Yes, well, it was sort of like the dive bomb from hell, but it was a weird angle. I wondered whether you'd had some sort of failure there, because it's not like you to retaliate, you know.
No, well, exactly, mate. Like, I came in there and I braked, I felt it, and then I had the something went wrong. So, yeah, a bit disappointed, but hey, that's racing, man. These things happen in some racing, I guess. I just apologise to the dude who I hit. So.
Yes, he wasn't too happy. You got
I can imagine.
Italian coming your way, but
yeah, that's right.
You can send him a message.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Nah, you're exactly right. Other than that, it was a really good race. I sort of felt that I had some pace. I didn't qualify too well, which was a bit disappointing. I managed to just hold on. I had some contact, a bit of net code came into play, and it bent my front wing, which took a lot of the speed away down the straight. And just sort of had to hold on there. Came into battle in the last lap there, and I knew I didn't quite have the straight line speed, so I could only just manage to edge past him. We came around the corner there. I don't know what happened. He kind of nudged me wide, and then we came down to the last turn, and it wasn't too good. But hey, I ended up third, so I'm happy, but not happy at the same time.
Well, you had no front wing at all, actually, and coming into the chase that last time, you had an epic amount of front end push. I didn't even think you were going to make it around the corner, actually.
Yeah, it was quite hard to drive. Bathurst isn't too bad for, there's not too many tight corners, so don't really lose too much. But just the straight line speed I was struggling with.
Well, mate, that was a really, really entertaining race. Your little battle pack really served it up, and we had the guys up front going from Tong as well. It was pretty exciting. I better throw you over to Kevin and Bernie for some thoughts from them as well, I think.
Yeah, hi Scott, it's Kevin here.
Kevin.
Great thing, Scott. That was a very entertaining race, mate. Shame about your brake pedal at the end there, but I wouldn't worry about it too much. Anglo's put a few people in the fence over the years.
Yeah, well, it was actually really good racing. It's quite frustrating racing with the Europeans because you need to give them quite a bit of a gap, when you're running side by side, because netcode can just come into play at any second, and that's what sort of happened, and it took all my speed away, which I wouldn't have been able to catch the front guys, but I may be able to have pulled a gap. But anyway, these things sort of happen.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. It's a shame for Mick when you took him out in the cutting there. He must have been gutted by that. I don't know how you got through there.
Yeah, I know. Well, I just braked and I just went underneath you, or I think it was, or Mick, one of the two, and sort of came out there unscathed. But good race. I certainly got a bit of a sweat up.
Yeah, it was a great, very entertaining race, Scott. I'll let you get back to Bernie. Thanks for the entertainment, Scott.
Yeah, well done, Scott. I tell you what, that last calling it coming into that Caltex chase, you guys looked like you were playing for sheep stations, and I felt like I was almost calling a V8 supercar race the way you two were banging wheels.
Oh yeah, it was great. It was really, really great, and I'm just disappointed it sort of ended up how it did there. But hey, look, there's always next week to come back and race hard again, and we look forward to doing that.
Yeah, fantastic. Well done there on your third position tonight, and it's great to see you out there having a go, and you definitely took it to the Europeans there tonight.
Yeah, it was quite good to have the European guys here. It certainly brought a bit more competition. I just wish I had have qualified a little bit better, and I would have maybe been able to run up with the front bunch, but shoulda, woulda, coulda. So yeah, we'll try again next week.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for popping in, Scott, and no doubt we'll catch up with you through the week, mate.
Yep, we certainly will, Bernie. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Richard and Kevin.
Good night, mate.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Yeah, good night, Scott. Thanks for the entertainment.
Well, how are we going to pick the driver of the evening from that, Bernie?
I have no idea. Quite honestly, the standard of driving out there was absolutely brilliant, and as it always is. But I don't think I could actually single out an individual over anyone else for driver of the night tonight.
I don't know. Did anyone have a straight car at the end of it?
Well, I was just going to go there actually. Daryl Ridley came through. He started 19th and he's ended up in 4th. So I reckon probably by default, Daryl has to take driver of the night because he must have had a straight car. So he started dead last and came 4th in a very sharp field. And that really shows you just how action-packed this race was.
Yeah, I'll play that. He didn't set a quality time and he got to 4th. That's a fine effort. And I'm glad I decided not to race tonight. My premonition came true.
Yeah, well, we didn't see a lot of Daryl, did we? But you're right there. That must have been an epic drive for him on such a big field. So, yeah, driver of the night tonight goes to Darryl Ridley. So, congratulations, Darryl. Well, folks, if you're just tuning in, you probably missed a great race, so have a look at the replay. But just to let you know, the top 5, just to spoil it for all you guys out there, Josh Anderson takes out tonight's win by Arjen de Vries in second. Scott Fountain, well, Scott came barrelling through there on the last corner to take out third. Darryl Ridley up to fourth, and Luke Whitten comes home in 5th position.
Oh, well done, Luke.
Yeah, so looking forward, folks, it's a really big week of RRTV broadcasting. So if you've missed out on some of our great broadcasts, you can definitely catch up this week. Coming this Wednesday night, we will be bringing you the Australian Sports Car Pro-Am, and Adrian Jarvis and myself will be calling that. And then Sunday, definitely tune in, because we'll be bringing you the Australian Endurance Championship, which is an 8-hour endurance race around the Monza Grand Prix circuit. So if you like your GT3s and your HPDs and the new Corvette, definitely tune in for that. And we'll be having a number of commentators coming in, including Scott Fountain will be coming in and helping us out in the booth. So that should be quite an exciting day, guys.
Yeah, that sounds really good. I was just having a look at that earlier on today in the forums, reading some of those posts. It's going to be a bit of a handful, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is. If there's any people out there that have a bit of commentating experience, definitely send me a line, because if you don't, you're going to have to listen to me drone on for probably 8 hours, and it'll probably involve a 6-pack of beer, and anything could happen after that.
And quite a large cup of coffee, Bernie.
Yeah, that's right. So, guys, before we go, we'll just give the viewers a little bit of news. I guess the thing most people are looking forward to, Richard, is from that blog post. There's quite a few interesting things coming out in the next year.
Yeah, there certainly are. And the guys are really starting to crank it up. We know that we've got the double header with the Nürburgring and the North Circuit coming. But looking into Season 2, we've got the revised particle model. In fact, are the particles coming this build, or are they in the following build? And the long-awaited, said to be soon, DX11 should hit the shores for Season 2, which is going to have people a bit excited. And I saw a warning there that everyone's going to have to look to their hardware pretty closely, Bernie.
Yeah, well, that's right. They're hinting for Christmas. If you've got a machine, you may want to look at upgrading it, because they reckon it's going to take a bit of a load on it when this DX11 update comes out. But the other big news, I thought, was with the Formula One coming out. They were talking about how they've had unprecedented access to that car from McLaren, and they're talking about the way they're modelling the KERS and the DRS, and there's another thing in there, the MERS or whatever the heck they call it, and they're also talking about having multiple tyre compounds for that car coming out.
Yeah, I was quite intrigued to read that. I mean, clearly they're getting the car that McLaren should have got, but they are getting the complete package, and we're also getting DRS, I believe, with all the tracks updated with DRS zones and whatnot. So that's going to be really quite something. And to hear that they've had this access, I've got to say I'd forgotten that, but that was really pretty impressive, wasn't it? I mean, we know that there's been a close relationship for a while, and we've had access to some of the McLaren telemetry packages in iRacing, but this kind of access to a current Formula One car is unprecedented, isn't it?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And the way they were talking was they were saying even up to last week, McLaren was still sending them through updates on that car so they could incorporate it into the iRacing version of that car. The other interesting thing is they're updating the marbles, and they're saying that's now going to actually stick to your tyres. It's going to be thrown by cars. So that's going to bring in quite an interesting dynamic as well, and they're saying that it's not just going to be there for eye candy. So I can't wait to see some of these changes coming out in the next 6 to 12 months. It's they're really taking it to the next level. And I guess the other one which might encourage some V8 drivers out there is they're talking about double stacking at some of these tracks in the pit lane.
That's right. They've beefed up about, I think, 5 or 6 circuits going to be coming through with 60 spots on the grid or in the pits, which is pretty amazing. And people were wondering, are we going to be able to get these very large grid races at Nürburgring? And clearly we are. And 60 cars running around the Nürburgring is not going to be boring, is it?
No, well, it's definitely not going to be that, but the races are going to be very long, and they also mentioned Amola's coming along. I think that was the track they were working on. They're also bringing a new NASCAR track as well for the guys that like their ovals out there. So, yeah, there's a lot to look forward to in the coming releases, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. You got any thoughts on that, Kevin? I know a few people have been saying iRacing is been a bit slow. It's not my experience. I think they've been careful with some of the technology, which is obviously really complicated. But what's your vibe about this, mate?
Yeah, Richard. Look, I hear a lot of people complaining about this and that in the forums there, but honestly, I think they do a fantastic job. I haven't read the post. I'm actually just skimming through it now, trying to catch up with what you're talking about. But yeah, look, they may be a little slow, but they're slow and they still make mistakes, so if they went any faster it'd only be worse, surely. I mean, people just need to be a little bit patient. If you want a better product, just in the time I've been on here, it's improved a great deal, and it seems that it's only going to get better from here on out.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, we get 4 builds a year. I can remember my first forays into Gran Turismo. I think there was one build, and then about the next year there was another one, and I'm pretty sure after that I waited, 3.5 or 4 years for another build. So the guys are really doing it, and of course this is where you race other people, not computers, not AI. They're all real people, and it makes a massive difference.
Yeah, I mean, it's about the racing at the end of the day, really, isn't it? I mean, and there's nothing else that comes anywhere near it, to be honest. And so if their UI is not that flashy, or this isn't working that well, or a little slow with the updates, it's you just look at what they've done with the dynamic track, and just massive improvements. And I have no idea how you do that sort of stuff, but I imagine there's quite a bit of work involved in sorting something like that out, and it's not just something you sit down and do in a day.
Definitely not. It's very, very complicated, and I think they do a brilliant job. I really do. Anyway, Bernie, have you got any more to add on that? I think we're just coming near the end. It's your wrap-up.
Yeah, well, the only other bit to add, of course, is they are looking at updating the UI on the website again, and so that'll no doubt come through in the next couple of builds. But anyway, folks, we're at the end of our broadcast tonight of the Monday Lights, and as always, it's been a fantastic race and a pleasure to call this race with Richard Craig and Kevin Henderson here. So folks, if you like our broadcast, tell your friends and family. We're still trying to get this following up on our small little channel. But anyway, we hope you tune in again next Wednesday night. And on behalf of Richard Craig and Kevin Henderson, I'm Bernie Weemers, and thanks for tuning in to RRTV.